welcome back. I'm Little McGriddle, and welcome back to Zombie Exodus. But first, from Denzel Nagel. So far so good, you managed to get into the city without injuring yourself. Hooray for us. Now I don't want to spoil your game, you better not, but I do feel that this I have to give you some advice. This game is super long and it will only get harder as you progress. Challenge accepted. Yay, let's get in. We're in for one hell of a ride. The game have been kind of so far. It's been nice. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The game, but your stats will begin to matter more as you go on. Since your character is a priest, your main... I did not even know that she was a priest. What? Oh yeah. Oops. Your main stats are your will and charisma. With your charisma, you'll be able to boost your relationship with other people, like lie yourself out of dangerous situations and make people see and do things your way. Just like we got the cops to get us to let us to go out and find our sister. With your strong will, God will send miracles whenever you pray. In fact, if it wasn't for your charisma, those two police officers would not allow you to pass through those glass doors, like I just mentioned. Strength will determine how many items you can carry at once, but that will come into play later. Dexterity will determine how fast your character can run, as well as how good she can shoot with a gun. Intelligence will determine how good your character is at spotting traps or picking up on the small yet important details in your surroundings. Technical will determine how good you are at building things or boarding up safe havens. Totally not me. I am not good at building things. In order to consider yourself decent at something, that particular something will need to be at least 20 or higher. Anything below 20 will result in your character failing when attempting to do something in that area. Always refer to your stats when making an important decision and try to choose the action that corresponds with your strongest stats. That should keep you alive. Thank you, Denzel. I will keep that in mind. Now, as I said, I'm going to go in first and check our stats. There we go, show stats. Profession, minister. No, I'm a minister. I'm not a priest. Am I? Oh, God. Okay, oh, God. Humanity is at 41%. We are gonna die. Guess what? Charisma is at 20. Intelligence is at 20. Dexterity needs work, as well as strength. I don't know how to... inventory. We are uninjured, so we're healthy, we're fine. Special items, our book. Inventory, we have a revolver, shotgun, backpack, food, water, multi-tool, whiskey. Whiskey. We have whiskey. Oh, great, that will come in handy. Strength is 10. Technical. I'm more worried about our strength and our technical side of this. Hopefully I'll be able to work on that. So now, back to the story. We just went into the city from getting past those police officers, so without further interruptions, I will start the story. We stand on the corner of a street in a desolate city in the late night. Litter blows by and the air is thick with moisture. You hear movement of large vehicles and low-flying helicopters in the distance. Few people are on the street, and those you see are running into houses or stores with few remaining on the warm city streets. Little light emanates from houses or businesses as if everything in the city has shut down. For such a busy city, where are all the people? Has the virus killed off so many so fast? Yes. Hello. 28 days later. Bruh. Good movie, by the way. You walk several blocks and stop as a sound builds around you. The rumble of large vehicles fills the area, shaking the ground, and a speaker fills the void of silence. Stay inside your houses and lock the doors. Keep your lights off. If you're outside, get to shelter. If you encounter an infected, run and get to safety. Do not engage the infected. Avoid being scratched or bitten at all costs. If someone is bitten, isolate them and restrain them immediately. Gunfire erupts and you duck for cover behind a parked car. The windows explode, coating your back in shards of glass, and the alarm blares out until another round of bullets rips through the car. You check yourself for bullet holes, but find none. Well, that's good. But we have a bunch of glass in our back. The alarm lets out a last fading sound and goes silent. At the intersection of the corner, only 40 feet away, is a procession of military vehicles. Tanks, troops, transports, and jeeps with heavy machine guns mounted on top. The parade of vehicles passes for a full minute, followed by a trail of zombies. Oh boy. Who you guess are attracted to the noise. Soldiers cut down on the undead stalkers. You wonder if this is a strategy of the National Guard. Round up the dead and destroy as many as possible. It's some twisted version of the Pied Piper of Hamelin fairy tale. Before crossing the street, you wait for the military vehicles to leave your sight and take all zombies with them. The corner red light silently holds off traffic, but no cars are moving on the road. Little light shines in the area, save a solitary window from an office building next to where you stand. You sit on the edge of the curb and take a few moments to rest. Despite the growing exhaustion, hunger, and thirst, sitting here for any extended length of time is a foolish idea. But you need to take care of yourself before moving on, or you'll never survive to find Emma. Take care of yourself? But, what, we can only, what? Oh boy, we can't use our first aid kit, what? Oh, because we're not in danger. Alright. I don't know what's more important, a drink of water or eat food. Okay, I'm gonna go with food. Food seems a rich commodity out on the street, surrounded by the military and flesh eaters. In a world where the basic necessities of survival will probably be fought over in a few weeks like a religious land, you'll need your strength across the city, so you gobble all of your food in anticipation you may not have another time to stop again. Movement across the street pulls you out of your current comfort zone, and you realize reaching Emma by phone can be delayed no further. You need to find a phone to contact Emma. Most stores are locked up or have metal gates covering the front. Breaking in could attract unwanted attention. You travel south a block and you see a payphone stand at the corner. The area is illuminated from a cone of odd orange light from a street lamp over the phone stand. You pick up the receiver and are surprised at the dial tone. After a moment you hear several clicks. You check your pockets for change when a voice comes over the receiver. Prime Telecommunications is providing this service free of charge during this national emergency. You dial Emma's cell phone number and receive a busy signal. You try several more times and finally it starts to ring. Hello? Emma, it's me. Where are you? Chloe, I can barely hear you. Emma's voice fades and you hear, I can't hear her, but I think it's Chloe. Emma, can you hear me at all? Where are you? I yell. Chloe, if you can hear me, I'm at my friend Heather's house. She's on 10th Street and Holland Avenue, 1027 Holland. If you can hear me, meet me there as soon as you can. Be careful. The army is taking everyone off the street. The line goes dead. 10th and Holland is roughly 5 miles away. You have several options for traveling to Emma. Head to the subway. They may still be running. Can we just find a car? Find a car and drive there? There are no shortages of cars in the street, and seeing no traffic makes it a fast method to reach Heather's house. Of course, the military is a huge obstacle, and they are patrolling the streets to enforce curfew and hunt the infected. Directly in front of you are several vehicles. Which car do you choose? Bruh. Doesn't matter, but what? We need a sweet-looking car. Dude, I want that convertible. Wait. 1995 faded red Honda Civic? That is red, man. I'm gonna go for the Honda Civic. Hell yeah. Though it is old and worn, the Civic is an easy car to steal. You pull the handle, but it's locked. You decide to use my multi-tool to pick the lock? Yeah. You grab your multi-tool and flip out a screwdriver. You jimmy the lock and pop the door open. You check the sun visor and under the seat for a key, but find nothing. In the glove compartment, you find an old candy bar and a pack of cigarettes, which you pocket for later use. To start the car, you'll have to do it manually. You select a flathead screwdriver from the multi-tool and slip into the key slot on the steering wheel. It takes a good deal of pressure and a few tries, but the car turns over. You pull the Honda Civic out and start toward Heather's house. From across the street, you notice a pack of teens running down the sidewalk and into a two-story home. You don't see what they were running from, but decide not to stick around and find out. Probably the military. The streets are vacant, and you drive through the first red light on the corner. You head west and make a turn at the next corner to go north. Up at the next intersection is a military transport, vehicles with a dozen or so guards forming a blockade. Goddamn blockades. Assault rifles are pointed in all directions, and no soldier is on top with a heavy machine gun. The entire scene is surreal, straight out of a high-budget urban war movie. The military blockade presents a huge obstacle in your path to reach Emma. Several spotlights cut through the darkness, and the soldiers are alert with weapons pointed, covering all angles. As you watch from a distance away, you catch sight of a woman striding toward the blockade. One of the soldiers yells for her to stop, then threatens to shoot. She wobbles at about 20 feet from the pack of armed men, misshapen arms to the side, then sprints at the closest soldier, who turns and fires. The muzzle flashes bright orange and sends light through around her body like she stepped in front of an old movie projector. Her body flies backward and lines of red shoot out the back of her body. You are stunned by the violence of the attack and pure destruction of the assault rifle. Oh, god damn. You pull the car forward and cut the motor. Cars are not allowed to move north, but that is the direction towards Heather House. Going through the soldiers is a risky move, but it is the most direct route to your destination. The other option is to detour a few blocks and ride the river road, which will add 20 minutes to the drive. It also may be guarded by soldiers. Finally, you could abandon the car and try the subway. We gotta be smart about this. Could we try reasoning? I mean, we could tell them. You drive forward, keeping your speed low. Within 50 feet of the blockade, you hear a bullhorn turn on and a voice boom over the hum of the vehicles. Drive forward under 5 miles per hour and cut your motor at the white line. You do as they say, and once your motor is off, 3 soldiers move out to the car, 2 on the driver's side and 1 on the passenger's side. Assault rifles are aimed at your head. Oh god. Hey, man, you know what, never mind. The first soldier gestured you to roll down your window, and you comply. Of course I do. I don't want to die. The area north of here is heavily infested. No one is allowed to move through. There's a curfew, so go back to your house. You reply. Well, obviously we can't tell them that we're a military officer. No, I can't get that way, but you let me through. I'm sure we can come to agreement on what it costs me. Home is north, and I need to get through. Minister, I need to reach my congregation. I want to speak to your commanding officer. Oh boy. I don't know. I think, should we speak to the commanding officer? I'm gonna go forward. My orders are not to let anyone through, no exceptions allowed. We have authority to detain anyone who does not comply. Please turn your vehicle around and find a place to stay. If you have nowhere to go, the Red Cross is accepting people at the Raymond Hope Middle School, half a mile south of here. Now when we walk back to the blockade, start your car, turn, and go. Nothing you say will get you through the blockade. Your choices are, I think we will take the river road. You drive the Honda Civic towards the river. As you travel further west, there is evidence of more fighting and mayhem. Cars overturned, dead bodies scattered about, and small fires rage in houses or stores. You hear sounds of gunfire in all directions. Your hands are sweating and slip over the steering wheel. You take deep breaths to slow your heart rate. Nothing in life has prepared you for the stress of this apocalyptic event. Still, there is no time to rest until you reach Emma and know she is safe. A blue van speeds past you in the opposite direction, nearly crashing into your front end. When you look back, you see a zombie hanging on the hood, clawing at the driver inside window. The car spins around a corner and sends the zombie flying off into a pile of debris. You head to the river road, which is a serpentine stretch of double-lane highway running the length of the city north to south. There is a light traffic here as cars zoom past with little regard for one another. You think of 2 options for making it to Heather's. Side streets, longer but less risky route. Oh, well, I guess we should take the side routes. You drive off the river road and detour into the northwestern area of the city, traveling for almost 40 minutes. You wind the car through snaking back streets, mostly residential, and keep your eyes peeled for any sudden movement. The National Guard lacks presence in the area, which you attribute to sheer depth. Thank you for that. Of the roads, a typical layout of the blocks, you have added considerably more time to your drive for meet no interference. You remember Emma mentioning Elm Street a while ago, which leads you into the main highway linking sides of the city. As you pass an old Methodist church, you take notice of the beauty and serenity of the neighborhood. The tall, leafy-lit trees lining the pavements, the quaint houses, tiny dog parks, and children's playgrounds. Aww! And the sweet smell of rain lingering in the air. There is no activity except for a few families packing up cars, presumably to head out of the city. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a car at the last moment before impact. You veer to the left and slam on the brakes, but can do little to avoid colliding with the other car, a black sedan. You crash into the side of the vehicle, punching a U shape into the driver's two doors. You're kidding me. You stagger out of the driver's side. Smoke leaks from the hood of your Honda Civic. The other driver, an old woman, appears unconscious across the wheel. A line of blood is visible on her forehead. You rush over to check her condition. She sits up and coughs blood. Ah, crap. Which dribbles down her dress in a loose stream, then turns and looks at you with a blank expression. Her eyes are white and green. Lesions cover the right side of her face. She groans and sucks in air one long screech before collapsing across the steering wheel. What? You return to your car and are elated to find it no longer smoking and still drivable. You climb in and pull away from the accident. You pull your car onto a highway which puts you less than a mile from Heather's house. You drive up the on-ramp and see the 4 lanes have turned into a parking lot with rows of abandoned or wrecked cars as far as you can see. Heather's house is due north, so you think your best choice is to leave the car and walk the rest of the way. Past the highway is a forested area, which you figure is the most direct route. The park is fairly empty like the rest of the city, and you can see far ahead on all sides, making it ideal for spotting trouble any direction. It is extremely dark, but the moon provides enough pale light to see up to 100 feet ahead. You walk for 10 minutes and find a tall kiosk. Oh. Did I pronounce that right? With a map of the area. Plotting a course, the quickest route is through the main forested area, which leads into a children's playground. You start out knowing you have already spent so much time getting this far. You need to get to Emma as fast as possible. The path flows into a deep section of woods, with trees close together and bushes and high grass filling in the gaps between. Moonlight weaves through the flora, creating a glow to the forest, but only a dimly lit path. Owls call out atop high branches, and the rustling of leaves by wind or woodland creature stirs the quiet. I like that drawing. It's a nice drawing. Oh no. Wait. What is that? Is that a pig? Is that a horse? What are you doing to that horse, buddy? Ah. You walk along the lonely... I walk along this lonely street, the only one I've ever known. Winding path for several minutes until you spot a clearing ahead where lies a large animal and a figure in a ranger suit. Stepping closer, you see the ranger prodding a deer on the ground, its belly gaping open with a dark pool of blood forming below it. You walk closer still, and the ranger reaches into the dead animal and lifts out a thick piece of flesh from the cavity in its midsection. A chewing... That's a zombie. That's a zombo. Oh, let's get away from there. Slurping and chewing sounds is evident from 30 feet away, and blood dribbles down the ranger's hunched body. I don't know if he's a zombie or not, but I'm gonna avoid him as best as I can. You know, you pass by the feeding zombie. I knew it, called it. I knew it. Guys, I said it was a zombo. I'd head into the forest area. The trees are lined in tight bundles like soldiers, and vines and brush make travel a chore. You press through, climbing out growths of roots, pushing aside thorny bushes, and sliding between tight branch formations. It takes a great deal of time to make any progress, and your energy ebbs with each step. After an hour of traveling, the forest thins and becomes less difficult to move through. The trek to the playground is smooth and straight, with a well-paved path taking you most of the way as you approach the actual playground, which has a large wrought iron sign hung by a dozen feet above the ground in a cartoonish font. You notice numerous footsteps and piles of dirt have hidden the trail, as if a mass exodus marks the impact of 100 running feet. Oh hey, that's the name of the game. You walk into the playground and see an overturned slide, its blue and white striped ladder broken in half. A jungle gym has solitary green balloons still tied to a rung. Oh, a tiny pink sneaker, a yellow hair ribbon, a box of crayons. All lies scattered as remnants of children who played here not long ago. Oh, no, those poor children. You hear a song whispered across the wind. Fairy sharkas, fairy sharkas, Solas las matines, ding ding dong, ding ding dong. You walk toward the sound of the music. Sitting at the edge of the sandbox is a young girl in a yellow and white polka dot dress. Her back is to you, but you hear the sweet song emanating from her. You have a great voice. Keep on singing. We're gonna help the child to a more safe place because she's like out here on her own, singing Fairy Shaka in the park alone when there's zombies. You walk up to the child, kneel down next to her. She is playing with a small sunflower, gripping the petals with her tiny fingers, pulling them away and letting the soft breeze carry them away. Her dress is spotted with dirt, and she has a bumblebee hair clip pinned up golden curls over her right ear. She stopped singing when you were near. Hello, my name is Chloe. What's your name? She says. You say. She doesn't answer, but stares at the flower. You speak softly and ask. What do we say? Obviously, her mom and dad might not be around. Well, we're gonna worry about how she's... The child stares straight ahead and remains silent. Leaving her surely means trouble. You need to get to Emma soon. You consider your options. Search the area for any clues about the child. Take the child outside the park and get her to safety. I know I'm trying to find my sister, but I'm gonna worry about this child. I don't know what's gonna happen after this, but I'm gonna take the child and get her to safety. You reach down and touch the girl's arm. Before your hand touches her, she screams and pulls away, never once looking up at you. You don't want to forcibly move her, but are even more concerned of leaving her here. This place is not safe, you say in a calm voice. We have to go now. You offer your hand to her, but she remains motionless. As you reach around to pick her up, she springs up and runs away, down a dirt-covered path. You run after her, but she's constantly just out of reach. She darts down a small incline behind a trio of closely aligned trees. You are the only seconds behind her. As you turn the corner of the trees, you see no one past it. You call out for several minutes and run into the area, desperately trying to find the child. Panicked, you cover the entire playground and look for any fresh footprints, but to no avail, and find little traces of the little girl. You search for 20 minutes, have no choice but to leave the area, and you continue through the park. You make it to the edge of the park and cross another road turning parking lot. You scan the area in all directions in case zombies or other hostiles are around. You find a street sign and luckily see you are at the corner of 12th and Holland, so you quicken your pace the last 2 blocks of Heather House. You find 1027 Holland, a 2-story brick and stone row home in the middle of the city street. You stand at the bottom of its stone porch, and the large bay windows are covered in thick curtains, with no light shining through. The upstairs window is framed in a white siding, giving the house a look of an angry face peering down on the sidewalk. A narrow alley runs parallel to the south side of the home, and a solitary light casts a dim glow some 30 feet away from the sidewalk where you stand. The 2 trees loom from the edge of the curb, towering above the 2nd floor. You walk up the porch, careful to make no sound. You press the level of the metal screen door and swing it open. A long creak breaks the silence. You stop and listen. Nothing moves inside. You brace the screen door against your shoulder and turn the knob. It is locked. Several options come to mind. Break in. Or knock on the door. Knock on the door. You knock on the door lightly, concerned that too much noise may not only alert those inside but any zombies in the area. No response comes. You knock harder and catch movement inside. The gray curtains to your left move. You square off with the door, ready to run if necessary. You hear shuffling inside and the sound of a deadbolt lock triggering, followed by the clang of a chain and turning of several more locks. You breathe in and out, eyes focused on the doorknob, and the door opens. Emma! Yeah, we found Emma! She reaches out, grabs your shirt, and yanks you inside the house. The door slams behind and arms wrap around you from both sides. You pull away and see another woman taller than Emma, with sandy brown hair tied into a ponytail. Fashionably dressed for the apocalypse, in green and pink camouflage, print sweatsuit, and rough rifle slung over her shoulder. She has a bounce to her step and pulls away to relock the door. Chloe, this is Heather. You smile and say hello. Heather throws you a sideways smile as Emma leads you into the kitchen area. Stacks of containers, boxes, and packages lie about. Emma pops open the refrigerator and rearranges shelves of food. She looks thin in tight jeans and gray jersey. Her sleeves are rolled, and the skin underneath is blotchy and scratched. You have so many questions for Emma. What do you ask? Yeah, why did you come here when the infection is spreading and you knew? Emma sighs and says, I had to get my medicine and wanted to stock up food. I had no idea the infection was so out of control. Heather needed to get some things, so we figured we'd go out together. Ah, you hurt? Hey, sister? No, just a bit roughed up. We had some looters try to break in, but Heather is a hell of a shot. She just scared them off. We're not trying to add to the zombies out there, Emma says. You step back and sit down on one of the chairs. It is the first time you have sat down to rest in several hours. Your legs ache and throb. You pick up a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and munch on it. Heather brings a laptop into the room. The internet is slow, but things are still working. Apparently the infection is out of control, and governments are just trying to contain large chunks of zombies in the cities, which sucks for us. Outside the city, there are a few people, and the infection is much less. Plus, the wackos outside of the city are just popping heads off the dead and keeping the numbers down. The big concern, though, is that all essential utilities will go down. Electricity, water, gas. Then people will be forced to go to the streets for food, drugs. The good drugs, like insulin and antibiotics. Oh, thank you for clearing that up. Deaths will go up, and as will the zombie number. Emma cuts in. She always talks fast. Someone on the net are saying the military will set up borders around major cities and not let anyone in or out. Then we'll just have to wait and survive. Wait for what, you ask? Heather perks up. Zombies need to eat just like humans. If they are deprived of food for a week, they die just like humans. Real death. Not fake zombie death. Listen, Chloe. Heather's brother has a group of friends who are preparing to leave the city. Emma says, if we stay in the city, our chances are slim. If we leave and get to Tom's group, we have a better chance of living. We're all tired. Let's get some rest and figure out what to do in the morning, you say. Then we need to meet with her brother and get the hell out of here. Good. So now we're going to be preparing to move out and go to Tom's group, so we have a better chance of living. Happy thing is, yay, we finally found Emma after searching for a long time. So I'm going to leave this one here because I am out of time, but hopefully you enjoyed it. This game is getting pretty interesting. So yeah, next time we're going to be furthering the story and seeing if we're going to be moving out to Tom's group. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that button down below. And like always, hold up. before we end this all, strength, still the same, but our humanity went up. Yay, we're not close to going crazy. Okay, so thank you for watching. You know what to do. Like always, I will catch you all in the next video. Stay awesome. Bye.